Avenue in Lynbrook. More information is available by calling the Farmingdale location at 631-242-8900. That's 631-242-8900. Or the Lynbrook location at 516-680-9451. That's 516-680-9451.
90.3 WHPC.
Of 7 big 2021 awards from the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System, including Best Station ID, Best Use of Social Media, and Best Underwriting Announcement. Simply put, you're listening to the best of the best. Period. End of story.
The voice of Nassau Community College.
This is the award-winning 90.3 WHPC HD Garden City.
Available on your smart speaker.
Play WHPC.
And anywhere on iHeartRadio.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Lynbrook and Oceanside, who remind you that New York State law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar lifetime nationwide warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available by calling 516-593-0920 or visiting online at celebritychasecollision.com.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by the Center for Workforce Development at Nassau Community College, which offers a course on how to become a dental assistant. This 80-hour program prepares students for entry-level positions in one of the fastest-growing healthcare professions, dental assisting. Class includes lectures, labs, and covers key areas and topics. The course begins June 15th and concludes August 17th, with classes conducting Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings. COVID protocols are in place to ensure the health and safety of all students. More information about this on-campus course is available online at ncc.edu/workforce development.
This Sunday. Side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here! Relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gasp at mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands with the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the MotorMouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Sunday!
Oh, yeah, it's Sunday, all right. Hey, what's going on? Hey! It's another beautiful Sunday here on MotorMouth Radio with your hosts, Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. Chris, we got a heck of a great day today, don't we?
I am very excited. This is the Mother's Day Extravaganza, only it's a little bit less than an extravaganza than when we've had in past times, but hey, we're still celebrating.
That's right. We will, I guess we should lay it down for the people who are listening that Mother's Day, as going back way before I was on the show, was a day you could never get a guest on the show. That was always a problem because it's Mother's Day. So you kind of started running what was like a best of.
Yes,
like the Mighty Carson art players would come in and spin plates on sticks and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the truth, because we would have our mothers were around at the time, and we had to spend the day with them, and so we were left basically with a problem. What are we going to do with a show we do on Sundays on a day like Mother's Day? And we came up with the best of show, and I loved doing it. It was a lot of work, but what a labor of love. You can hear those shows, I hope, on MotorMouthRadio.com. Yes. At least some of them are on there.
Yes.
Because they are truly an hour, a gem of an hour of radio programming, and it shows. I must admit, there's not much I say that I'm impressed that I do, but when you and I got together and did those Mother's Day shows, they were very impressive indeed.
And the crowd here, I know, is going to enjoy them too. It's a little smaller this year than it was in the past because
everybody has their masks on too.
But I want to kick the show off with a bit that we that kind of typified the situation we found ourselves in with this whole COVID pandemic, because we couldn't be in the studio, none of us.
Right.
So we were all remote, and we had, of course, our good friend Matco Man Brian on the phone early on. This bit goes back to March of 2020. And we talked about it and exactly how he dealt with it. We actually had our good friend Gerard from Rolling Thunder Cycles in scenic downtown Hempstead. He was on the line with us as well that day.
Yes.
So if I may, I'd like to play that so we can hear what was going on back in March of 2020, if you want to fondly remember back and cringe on your own. All right?
So let's do it right here on the MotorMouth Mother's Day Extravaganza.
Here we go.
So let me ask you, how many pounds of brownies have you made at your house so far?
I'm eventually going to look like Jabba the Hutt here because the girls have cooked so much cookies, cakes, brownies. It's going to be tough. I lost my summer body already.
Oh, no.
That's hysterical. We're all going to be overweight, long hair, all overweight.
I just asked that because my daughter made brownies yesterday, and I've been How do you not eat fresh brownies when I know, Gerard, your daughter makes some of the best brownies I've ever had in my life.
It must be a virus thing, Brownies cure the coronavirus. Let's start spreading that around. That's what it is. Eat brownies.
No problem, man.
I got the list this morning to go to the grocery shop store first thing in the morning when they open. It didn't have anything like toilet paper or any of that stuff. It was eggs, brown sugar, more butter.
Not just butter,
things that we needed.
Butter. Mm-hmm. Right, more butter, not just butter.
More butter and brown sugar. I mean, and chocolate chips. We ran out. We were shaving Hershey Kisses to have chocolate in the cookies. So it's tough. I mean, we had to sacrifice some Hershey Kisses.
You got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. Suffer where you can.
Yeah. Our you can see our rationing is a whole different perspective now, right?
Yeah.
I tell you, that really did typify a lot of us. I got the hair and the weight and everything, so does a lot of other people. So. Oh,
yeah. And to top it off, I mean, my wife and I were like drinking wine almost daily, just having a glass of wine on a daily basis. It was just turning into that, for crying out loud. We were just... Either was Dorito chips and a glass of wine, and it was the diet and just our calorie intake shot up, and the quality of the food just went straight down. It was pathetic.
And now what's getting me is we're going through the backlash again, where the news is all over the place saying there's going to be a shortage of toilet paper again. Why? Because wood pulp is not available. Like, why not? I mean, lumber prices, are astronomical right now.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But you think
it is crazy.
From the lumber being sawn, you get dust and pulp. So, why can't they, aren't they salvaging that? I don't understand it.
I don't know if you saw it on social media recently. A lot of the social media comedians are posting shots of pieces of like a 4x8 sheet of plywood. And they're saying, like it's on Facebook Marketplace, they'll trade for a 2010 or 2011 Corvette or a high-speed boat, and don't try and negotiate with them. They know what they have.
Right.
It's just a piece of plywood.
Exactly. And if it's half-inch plywood.
Right, it's half-inch plywood.
Half or three-quarter. Ooh.
Yeah, they'll trade for something exotic.
Exactly.
But yeah, this is the first time we can get to talk about our mothers.
Yeah.
I mean, this Do you know, it's kind of funny because I was thinking about my mom was, when it came down to cars, my mom was kind of like she was like a detective. She was the Ellery Queen, my mom.
Okay.
And she, one day I was home and she walked in the door after a day of work and she asked me, she said, how was school? I was in high school at the time. And I had my 63 Cadillac, my silver Caddy, parked outside. It had just rained, or it was raining all day, basically, because everything was wet. And she walked in, she was like, how was school? And I said, it was fine. And she went, bang, and hit me right off the bridge of my nose. And I'm like, what'd I do? She said, you didn't go to school. I was like, how did you know? How did you know? She's grabbed me. This was my mother. She would grab the back of my shirt and drag me over to the window and prop me up. And she says, look, there's red clay all along the side of your Cadillac. Because I was in Staten Island at Yacarino's Auto Parts at the junkyard all day.
All right.
And she knew it. She was like beating me up in the middle of the living room.
Wow.
You didn't go to school. You lied to me, you dirty old, if I had a brick.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So my mom was, she was the definitely the clue master. She knew exactly where to look. She must have ran her fingers along it, went, Staten Island red clay. That dirty dog didn't go to school.
Yeah.
So if I was smart, I would have washed the car.
Right. We have talked about in the past how both our moms used to use, this is going back years we did this bit, the implements of destruction against us, like of course, the wooden spoon from the spaghetti sauce, and then the slipper and the telephone. We got.
What was your mom's tool of choice to strike over the bridge of your nose?
Well, it's what she had in her hand at the time, and that wooden spoon there was always something cooking, so the spoon was always available. And the slippers, they always wear slippers, so that's always like, get that thing off, like. and I remember at one time. My mom was chasing me. I think she chased me up the steps. So it was up the first flight, landing, second flight, and then beating me on the way up. And actually, she was. I mean, I guess I was a teenager at the time, maybe young to middle teens. I guess I don't remember truthfully. But the spoon broke over my back or head or something. I was like, ma, come on. And then she went for the slippers. Like, I got two more. Whack, whack, whack. And I remember, and then she, on the way down the steps, beat me with the thing. And I remember just turning and like putting my hands up, and like you can't fight back. There's no way you're going to fight back.
Right. You can't throw your left hook at your mom.
No. So you sit there and you take it. You're like, Ma, all right, come on.
How old were you at the time? Like 30?
No, I was in my teens. Like I said, I was in my teens. So. It was the frustration level must have been off the chart, I guess, and I probably deserved everything and more. I wouldn't.
I always say it. Yes, I deserved every strike.
Yeah.
Probably, I always say there were things she would pounce on me for stuff, and I'd be like, "Well, what did you find out?"
Right.
Out of the many things I've done wrong.
What was it like? Can you clue me in so I know how bad it is?
Exactly. No, there were tons of those times, and it is the truth. I'm really glad. Today we're paying homage to the people that gave birth to us. I always say the first people that loved us and the first people that struck us. I'm sure. But yeah, it's a wonderful day to have, and a day where you can sit back, and if your mom's still around, you can spend the day with her, and if she's not around, you can certainly remember her and remember all the good times, and that's what we're doing here on the show, is just remembering them, and also, of course, playing the best bits of 2020 and 2021 is always a pleasure, and I'm really, really glad that we're not able to fill the show with the bits, but we're able to throw up some highlights. And I'm looking at what we're doing, what's going on, what's coming up. Very excited.
Well, we're going to do that one in like a minute, so we can start talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to talk this one up? This because you're prominently displayed in this one.
It's funny because we do at the bottom of every hour of every show, bottom of the hour, we do the MotorMouth Radio Honor Group.
But this is the 15th. You're one ahead. You're on number 2.
Where am I?
You're on number 2.
I am at number 2.
Then you're out of sync. This is the one.
I'm out of sync. Okay.
I sent you the list.
Well, the funny thing is, I can fix this.
Okay.
I can lead us.
Okay.
The one appreciator of the MotorMouth Radio Honor Group is our friend Dougie from the UD.
Very true.
And Dougie is here to explain one of the stories, or one of the honor group honorees was, if you can get more people, how many people have you were able to get in your car?
Right.
And Dougie called us with a great story on how many people he was able to get in a vehicle.
Exactly.
How's that? Did I save it?
You got it. And the air date was March 7th, 2021. So that was from this year. So you know what? Let's do that. Let's hear what Doug has to say, and we'll. You got to hear it because it really just it tells a story. So
it's pretty funny.
There we go, Dougie. Take it away.
What's up, Greg? Chris, Dougie here from the UD.
There we go.
Hey, we were just talking about you. What's up, Dougie?
That's I said, man, these guys are talking about me too much. I better call up. And little Joey D, text messaged me. Doug, they're talking about you. I got it on the phone.
Nice.
First of all, I want to tell Chris, the time when I saw you were with Joe doing a radio show, and he had the camera there.
Right.
I don't know if you remember that time.
Oh, probably at the Malba show. We were at the car show.
No, it wasn't the Malba show. I think it was in the studio. Joe had
the camera. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and that's when I saw Chris. And like I said, I always feel like I know him.
Yeah.
That type of guy.
That's the truth.
I almost fit in the honor group today. I'll tell you.
Tell us.
Never got 10 people in a car, but I got a 70 Corvette 2-door T-top car that I had 5 people in.
5.
So I'm halfway there.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's got to count for a lot, because 5 in a Corvette is like having 10 in any other car. So
yeah, it was me, my buddy.
Yeah,
me and my buddy, and 3 girls.
Okay.
We put one girl's legs in the compartment underneath the, where the T-tops would go if you took them off.
Yeah, in the back.
One girl's legs went that way. Another girl sat in the middle, and the other one sat on the side.
Beautiful.
And it was a little hard shifting, but,
Yeah, that's all right. You make these concessions, though, for stuff like that. That's okay.
I love that it's a family program.
Yeah. Well, I stopped there.
Yeah. Good idea. That was a good idea, Doug. Yes, that was.
Yeah, it's tough to shift, I'm sure.
and I've seen that car, because that car is at the UD. And I actually saw the car where that happened in, which is kind of like now radio. It's got Radio Provenance.
Oh, certainly. That's for sure. MotorMouth Radio Provenance. But just imagine trying to get 5 people in a Corvette. That's got to be. You need to put at least 2 people in the back where the T-tops go.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. It's not easy. That's for darn sure.
There's no room. I had 3 people in a Mazda RX-7 one time. No, 3 or 4. No, 4 people in an RX-7, and one of them had to sit in the back with the hatch.
Yeah. Wow. That's nice, in the fishbowl. Actually, we showed a picture on Playing Traffic. We were talking about Ben Bright. We had him on, and a car that he built. It was an Impala, I think, for Shaquille O'Neal. And it was on overhauling, and what they did is move the front seats back so far, because Shaq is giant.
Yeah.
That literally the back of the front seat was right up against a shortened bottom of the back seat.
Wow.
They had to shorten it, and it reminded me of my Fiat, my Spider. And even when my kids were younger, and I had to take like 2 of them. It's a 2-seater. It has a back seat, but there's no way for your feet. Somebody has to sit crossways in the back, and you can actually put 2 people like that sitting facing in, I guess. So that's what that Impala reminded me of. I was like, yeah, no leg room.
You need 2 very small people, probably your daughter's size when they were kids. I'm sure. They would probably fit in there just fine, but I wouldn't put any adults in the back of your Spider. That's for sure.
No. It wouldn't be comfortable at all. Not at all. And the top has to be down.
Yeah, right. You can't keep the top up.
Well, it's that's how the car is made. So yeah, that's that's the kind of stuff that happens here. We never know, but we do keep a weekly tally of this stuff, so we know. Because by the end of the year, you don't remember all these gems. You may remember one or two, but we'll have 40, 50, 60 of them sometimes that are worth. And then you got to cull through them and say, okay, well, which ones are we going to use, which ones aren't, and it's a shame the ones that don't get used.
It is. It is truly torturous.
Yeah.
When you're sitting down and you're trying to weed out the good bits from the bad bits, or not, can't say bad bits because none of them are bad.
No. They were saved for a reason. It was saved because they were good. Yeah.
Right. And we try and throw a couple in the promo that we do, bits and little slices of the bit will go into the promo to save them. So it is, it's literally like, which kid do you love the most? I mean, it turns into that.
Right.
It really turns into that.
Yeah.
Because they are just a lot of our callers, our guests, it just some of the crazy stuff that just comes out. And I truly enjoy it. I truly enjoy that we can speak to people where they can feel comfortable.
Right.
And I always know that you've always said it, that anytime you interact with a guest for the first time and they say, oh, I don't want to get embarrassed, or you guys are, go after each other all the time, blah, blah, blah. And you always have to talk them off the edge saying, no, we're not like that.
Right.
We don't treat we treat each other that way. We don't treat our guests that way.
Right.
You have to explain these things. And I find that fascinating. But I love the fact that every one of our guests walk away going, yeah, when's the next time we're going on?
I always felt it was great when I'd be pitching to a guest like that, and I knew that the person had an ethnic background that I could key in on, because all the ethnicities, we're all different, but we're all the same on the same extent. And then when that conversation comes up, I would tell them, hey, listen, it's like if you invite me into your house and I come into your home. It's like, what it takes for you to do that, and what you expect me, how you expect the person to act and how you expect the person not to act.
Sure.
And I say that this is our home. So it's the same thing. We're welcoming you in, and, all right, so the rules are this. Be yourself, have fun, and just don't be a boob. Just don't do anything we have to bleep. And then that's it. And then we're going to have a good time. And then people get it like, oh, all right, and then we've literally had people bring food when they come to the studio. I was like, well, when I visit somebody, I always bring food, or pastries, or bring,
that is true.
I mean, the Parisis were famous for that. We'd have like a whole smorgasbord set up.
Oh, my gosh,
broccoli,
yes.
Rob, sausage, and peppers. I mean, they brought the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Who is Billy Wondolowski? We used to show up with food all the time.
In the Eastport Deli, we'd always bring a cooler full of sandwiches. Rob would be salivating.
Sorry, Rob, you're not on the show.
So was I. That was good stuff. Yeah.
Yes, classic. It was classic. I always said, like, Billy Wondolowski was one of our greatest guests, and he has the Dukes of Hazzard Charger, the replica Charger, and he was like mom. He'd feed us.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah, I think back to those times and just go, wow, just amazing. It was that camaraderie, and I'm so glad it still continues, even though we're at different parts of the country now, not far, but still far enough away that we have to do it this way, that we have to do the show this way. But still, it's nice that we can still hold on to some of those key points and hold on to some of those experiences.
Yeah.
Well, and not let the show suffer.
And the nice thing is, too, we've kind of made our own history over the years. Where,
certainly have.
Obviously no one, the station obviously gave us the time and the facility to do the show, but the rest of it was up to you and then up to me. It's like, okay, here's your blank piece of paper, fill it. So we had to do that, and we've always done that. We've changed it over the years. We've kind of changed things up, and we've woven in and out of different areas of automotive, the automotive world, where we've keyed in on through the years. Because hey, sometimes you get a little bored with something. Everybody needs a change. But the key stuff, the basis has always been the same. It's about, let's do a good show. Let's talk about what we do, what we fix, what we break, how we do it. Let's have guests come in to share their opinions and their, let's learn from them, And then most of all, let's have a good time doing it.
Exactly. Because you have always said it, and you have hit it right on the head, that we were all doing the same things. We didn't know each other, but we were all doing the same things growing up, and we all were having a good time doing it. We just weren't doing it in the same garage.
I still see that happening. I still have that realization today with people that I meet and talk to. And actually, Doug from the UD just said that 2 weeks ago. Kilowatt Kevin and I were over at the UD visiting, and we were talking about this and that and the other thing, we were talking about bicycles, how we modified bicycles. Doug was telling us how and I said, and I told him what I did, and he looked at me and says, hey, we were doing the same thing. I'm like, we were. You were over here and I was over there. We didn't know each other. But, it's all that commonality. And when you realize we're more alike than we're different, it's
frightening.
It
is quite frightening. It's the truth.
Absolutely.
It really is. And even more modifying bicycles. Before I had my driver's license, that's what we were doing. And my mom would leave us in the backyard, and all of my friends would show up with their bicycles. And my mom was cool about it because she would say, look, work in the backyard, make a mess of the yard. I don't care. At least I know where you are. She used to say stuff like that to me.
I'll tell you.
I know where you are.
Let me tell you another story that my mom relayed to me some years ago. Our backyard was like, now when I look back at it, I look back at pictures, it was like a junkyard. I'm amazed that anybody let this happen. I mean, car parts of everything we took apart, there was stuff everywhere. And I asked her about that, and she goes, there's one thing, and all my friends were always invited over, and then, of course, there was always room at the table for dinner for all of you, too. Mm-hmm. And my mom said, I could look out that kitchen window and look outside, and I always knew where you guys were. I knew what you were doing. And she says, that was more important to me than the lawn or the stuff. And I said, wow, I never really thought of it that way. And, now being a grown adult with kids of my own, I thought about it for a second. And I sat there and said, Mama, let me tell you something. The thing you didn't think of was all of those pieces of crap, death trap cars and motorcycles that we were building. You saw us putting it all together. She's actually helped. She was out there helping, line up motor mounts and things. Oh, I got pictures of her doing it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I said, we had to take all of those things for test drives. And once we left the driveway, now all bets are off. That's what you didn't see. I said, it's probably a good thing you didn't. She goes, what do you mean? I'm like, a lot of times back then, I'm talking about when we were much younger, the thing was get the engine and transmission and get it hooked up. Let's get it to run. Let's get it out on the street. Did anybody check the brakes or check any of the other safety systems? No. Do we have brake lights? Who knows? We literally never thought about it and just took that thing out and bombed it, and there's your danger drive. And she looked at me, she goes, thank God this is so many years later that you're telling me this, because if I knew that back then, she goes, you would have all been shut down. I'm like, good. So.
When I was 13 years old, my mom gave me a car. And that was for the same reason, because she said, at least I know you're going to be in front of the house, you're going to be working on it. And I was the only 13-year-old kid with a vehicle. And it was a 63 Cadillac that we were talking about before the show. And that she had the same state of mind. She says, I know where you are. And she experienced the same junkyard in the backyard. Right. Because at 14 years old, I'm pulling the doors off it. Yeah. I'm like taking the seat out of it. I'm like just putting new doors on and routing the. I put doors on that had power windows and power vent windows. And instead of just putting the whole power window assembly in the door that came with the car, I just swapped the doors out and ran the harnesses in with the dash apart. That's why we were talking about running a wire harness in a 64 Cadillac, and I had to think back to when I was 14 years old.
Oh, boy.
But my mom said the same thing. She says, I know where you are. I know where your friends are. And no, I wasn't taking it out on any danger drives at 14.
That's good.
But we were.
Sure.
All right, we were tearing them apart and making a junkyard out of the backyard.
We're going to take We're going to take a danger drive now. So we're going to play our next bit, and then we're going to go right into our bottom of the hour break. So you'll hear a couple of clips, but I need you to set us up and tell us if we have an honor group of the hour.
Yes, we do.
What is it?
We do have it. So we're going to play the bit before the honor group of the hour?
No, well, you want to do that? You want to do that first? You want to play the bit first, and we'll come back and then do the. Well, we're programming on the fly here because we hadn't really.
Yeah, why not?
All right, I'll tell you what. This debuted. This was on October.
Let's
25th.
play the bit first.
Yeah, this was October 25th, and I had a little bit of a brain fart. We were working remote, and you're going to hear it right here. It was at the bottom of the hour, and so let's hear it right from the horse's mouths when we play this, and we'll be right back. Chris, this elicited, I think, the most and the heartiest and real laugh I've ever heard come out of the depths of your diaphragm. Bar none. And you've had some. You're known for your laughing. You really are.
I've heard.
This one, you tell me if I'm wrong. Let's play it and see what goes on.
All right.
You get this crowd muffle noise, and then you heard, "This is Chris kind of Mackie." Like it was just this razor sharp timbre of a voice that you recognized instantly. You knew exactly who he was.
And I'm sure that's how he kept his job. And something else that people recognize instantly whenever they hear it, be it live or be it on any of the podcast or rebroadcast of this show, is the MotorMouth Radio. What the hell do you do at the bottom of the hour? That's the one.
What's
the honor group of the hour?
Ladies and gentlemen, the MotorMouth Radio. What the hell do you do at the bottom of the hour?
Let me take another memory pill. Hang on. The other one didn't work. What do you got for us?
The look on your face was priceless. Like, where's he going with this?
That's why you have a co-host who knows what you're thinking.
Well, tonight on the MotorMouth Radio, what the heck are we doing at the bottom of the hour? We're celebrating anyone that celebrates Halloween using a vehicle.
Yeah. That's what you call a brain fart, folks. When you say something every week and you set it up and you cruise into it and you just go,
your eyes got real big.
I was like, help. What's it called?
Done.
Yeah.
I just watched you fall.
Now, I've had that happen to me on this board where I had to just do something that I've done every other week and like, what button is it?
Yep.
Because now things are kind of shifted around. Things are reassigned. I was like, So, anyway.
Well, at the first day of school.
So,
what we do, here on this Mother's Day, MotorMouth Radio Mother's Day Extravaganza, we do have a MotorMouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour. Today, if you've ever driven with your mom and she steps on the imaginary brake pedal on the passenger side, or if she steps on the imaginary brake pedal directly behind you in the back seat, that's the one that hurts. Or if she threw her forearm across your chest during a panic stop. That one used to hurt, too.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a fully grown adult and she's still trying to do it. So if you had to deal with mom's imaginary panic stops or airbag impersonations while you're driving with her, you're part of the MotorMouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour. There you go.
Excellent. That's a good one. That's a keeper. So we're going to take our bomb. It's going to be a quick break. We're going to hear from some more of our listeners and guests on our promo. And then we'll be back. We'll pick this right up where we left off, and we'll do more of the Mother's Day Extravaganza with Ray Guarino, Chris Switzer. Keep it where you got it on 90.3 WHPC.
You're listening to the MotorMouth.
You know them.
So nice talking to you guys. I miss you.
You love them.
I heard you talking about us, so I thought I'd call in.
MotorMouth! You want to serve dinner to them.
How you doing, guys? Sorry to interrupt.
How are you, Ray?
Chris is the sharpest drill bit, right?
This is the first time that I'm actually listening live and working on a car.
Our trained staff of 2 will help.
I'll call you back when I have the solution.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. That definitely points me in the right direction.
No, hold your breath. I hope you're sitting down.
MotorMouth!
A tornado of urban legend and BS.
No, I'm not going to wax my Johnson. I'm going to wax my Evinrude.
As always, you are a consummate professional.
When I listen on my laptop, I got to keep that thing screaming. I don't mean to blow you up on the airwaves.
Quite frankly, there are better things to do with your time.
Oh, this is why I call wrong number by accident.
I want you all to know, sometimes I don't even wear pants.
I have no clue, and I can't hit it with a hammer to fix it.
Yeah, I want to know what the is wrong with my car.
I got to give you guys a call and talk to you.
MotorMouth!
I'm in the car now.
They're going to talk about working on cars, but not going to work on yours.
There is no answer, and it makes you think, and I like the things that make you think.
What are you doing here?
I'm on break.
Okay, good. So are we.
There are answers, sometimes correct ones, and we may have them.
WHPC Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
MotorMouth!
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar lifetime nationwide warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available by calling 516-593-0920 or visiting online at celebritychasecollision.com.
Whoa. These guys are the kings of rock. There is none higher. So cool.
Thank you, Mr. Butthead. That was very nice of you to acknowledge us like that. That was cool. All right, business taken care of.
This is the MotorMouth Radio Mother's Day Extravaganza. Ray Guarino, I'm Chris Switzer, and talking about our moms and celebrating them on this Mother's Day and playing the best bits of 2020 and 2021. And, you know, it's funny, we were talking about moms letting us work on our cars. There was a time my mother let me work on hers.
Oh boy.
She had a 72 Cadillac at the time. At the time it was fairly new. It was less than 10 years old.
Right.
And when I got my hands on it, she ended up pushing it into a Jersey divider one time in the snow and pushed the bumper up into the grill. Pretty hard. So the car was sitting in the driveway that we had it towed home, and she didn't have the money to fix it. So she said to me, she says, "Do you want to take care of that?" And I'm like, I was like 17 years old, 18 years old. I'm like, you're giving me the credence to go out there and make decisions and fix your car. And she says, yeah. And I did. We made a phone call, spoke to the people in Staten Island, went over to Yacarino's, picked up the whole front piece threw it in the back of my car, in the trunk of the 64 Caddy, and I drove that back to Brooklyn, and I was able to pull the fenders off it, pull the hood off it. They were still good, but I had to change all the pieces under it. The bumper I had to replace, and the radiator section, I had to take the radiator off. I moved the condenser out of the side, and there's pictures of the whole front of my mother's car taken apart, and my mom was cool about it. She was like, go ahead, do it. Do what you have to do. Get it fixed, and I fixed it.
I tell you now, I've always said this, I've never been a body man, but now I've done some kind of body. I've put my own car together with the body, and I tell you, those parts are not fun to deal with, those big bumpers and bumper. I just moved bumper brackets for my own Pontiac yesterday in my shed. Even just the brackets are heavy, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's killer work. Wow.
Oh, yeah. That was the time I learned that you cannot cut a fiber optic cable.
No. Well, you can.
And have them work.
It's just not going to work again. Right.
No, because here I am putting the fiber optic together with a piece of electrical tape. And I'm like, why does this work?
Wow.
That was
funny.
My only mess up. That was my only mess up in that whole job. But I got everything back together again. The signal lights at the tips of the fenders didn't work anymore, but everything else worked just fine. But yeah, my mom gave me the license to go out there and just fix her car and trusted me, which I found astonishing if I think about it now.
Our buddy Glenn,
you gotta be crazy.
Glenn with the Camaro had told me that his mom thought the garage was on fire one night. He and his friends had broken the cam while adjusting the valve train with the car running, and of course, with the valve covers off, all that hot oil sprays, hits the headers and whatever, and of course makes a lot of smoke. So I wonder if she called the fire department.
Right, and of course, a bunch of teenagers, nobody has a mask, no one has a window open, no one has a garage door open, there's no fresh air coming in.
Well, the door might have been open, maybe that's why she saw the smoke, but I tell you, by the couple cars now I've done engines on at the shop, done Mike Chevelle, that thing, you get a lot, even with keepers on it, you get a lot of smoke. There's a lot of, engine break-ins are, and this Caddy, the 64 Caddy, that thing runs, it's running rich, your eyes are burning, like, oh my God, this is... Yes.
Yep. I had the same problem with the Chrysler when I first started it up after a 30-year sleep. Yeah. Smoke everywhere.
Right.
Smoke and acorns.
Yeah. Not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. So, that's those are the things that got us where we are,
Right. And it's true because they had to come from somewhere. Your mom gave you the liberty to do whatever you needed to do, and you learned because of that. Because she could have probably, put her thumb over you and said, no, you're not going to be working. Don't work on the garage. Keep the yard straight. And you would have grown up a Demi.
Well, I tell you, and on the other hand, my best friend Tom, his mom, they lived on the other side of town, and his mom had a rule where she always had new Rivieras and single car driveway with a garage in the back. And her rule was, when I get home from work at night, my car has to be able to get into that garage. So you do whatever you want to do in the driveway during the day, I don't care. But if I can't get my car in that garage at 6 o'clock, whatever time I get home, there's hell to pay, and it's you who's paying it. So Tom was under the gun. He couldn't lay a car up to do a head change or a rear end. So where did that car go? Over to my house. And it was in the backyard, and I have pictures of his car there, more, as much as mine was there. Because my mother was all right. She was cool with it. But his mom was like, no. He said, Mom, what if I bring it to the side of the garage? And no, you can't disable a car back there. It's going to look like a junkyard. So we went to the Crosstown junkyard and
bringing it over to the Guarino family. Yes. They have junkyards in there.
Exactly. And then my mom would feed them. Yeah.
Well, you were crazy in itself that you worked in your garage and it didn't have a garage door.
No front door. It had a side door, but no front roll-up door. Right, we didn't have one. Yeah.
That to me is astonishing because
and in the winter,
it's working in the weather.
And you know what? And I thought, and I tell you, it's all a matter of just being thankful for what you have. Because I was just happy to be out of the rain and out of the direct snow. Yeah, we had wind coming in and snow drifts, but I think we threw up a tarp now and again. Luckily, there was some electricity in there, some rudimentary electricity, so we had that. And that was that beats all the stuff I did out in the snow. I can't tell you, cardboard was my best friend. Throw the cardboard down in the snow, pack it down, lay on it, change the clutch.
I did the same thing.
Oofa.
Did the same thing. Shovel my way to the car.
Yeah.
Before I started working on it.
Well, that's excellent. And I want to tell you that that reminds me. That's our next bit here. A guy who's building a car from his past, our friend Chassis John down in Florida. You want to talk this one up? You have the piece in front of you?
Oh, yeah. Back on April 11th of this year, 2021, Chassis John is explaining why stock stinks when building a project car. And we were going back and forth on this for a while, but this is a great story, and I really appreciate this one.
Exactly.
So let's check it out right here on the MotorMouth Radio Mother's Day Extravaganza.
All right, let's hear Chassis John.
Yeah. But you're my inspiration because my Chrysler has been messed with as well. There are things that I don't know what mechanic has worked on this car, but what butcher, I should say, worked on this car previously. But it's nothing compared to the heartache that you go through from some of the sordid stories I hear you tell. But I'll start unwrapping wires in my car, and I'm like grumbling, and then I think to myself, this is a lot better than what John is doing. This is a lot better than the torture that man is putting himself through.
Well, you see, there's the difference. You will try to work with the existing, let's say components or wiring from the factory from way back when.
Yes.
Whereas I'm the kind of guy that cuts it out and puts it in the garbage pail because there's new stuff that can be bought. In other words, originality doesn't exist in my lexicon other than the fact of the way the body actually looks.
Right.
There's the originality. I don't mess with stock. Stock stinks in my world.
Chris, if you want to follow a good advice from John, just watch what he eats for lunch, because this guy eats good. He does. He eats New York in Florida. I tell you, he eats good. Oh, yeah, that's our good buddy Chassis John, and he still eating good down there.
Stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, I still do it. Every once in a while, I'll still pull some hokey thing out of the car and look and go, what the hell? Think of the torture I have to put myself through, and then think about Chassis John. He's got to deal with a quarter-inch pipe or some soldered thing or some crazy extension cord that's wrapped into the harness or whatever silliness that those Firebirds have.
I'll tell you,
whatever secrets are in there.
Oh, he ripped all of that. Now, Chassis John is now on Instagram. Of course, John's from Chassis Connection here on the island. That was his business up here. But now if you go to Chassis_John, you can find him on Instagram, and you can see now the rebirth of his 70 Firebird. That's the car he's working on. He made the chassis rails and put them in the back. It is like, it's artwork. It's beautiful.
Really?
Oh, I was complimenting him on Thursday night about it. It was just fantastic.
I gotta check it out at the show.
Yeah, take a look.
Check it out. That's funny. Because I'm the stock guy. I make it stock. That's the way I am. If it's stock, that means you have a benchmark.
Right.
If you've done it, then you're the one that has to write the manual to it, and you're the one that has to figure out how to fix it, and you're the one that has to install it and make it work and everything. They're engineers that do that.
Yeah.
They get paid a lot of money. They work long hours to do that job. Yeah. I don't want that job.
And I tell you what, if you do that, because that's what I've done, you need to keep really good records, not only for yourself when you look back, because after a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you forget stuff, like maybe where you sourced the part from, who the vendor was.
Takes 20 minutes.
Yeah, but now...
I'll close the driver's door and I forgot.
I tell you, with the cars, with Resto Mods especially, if you were to buy one and you didn't get a stack of documentation with it, that thing is like, it's a blank canvas all over again. It's a running, driving car, presumably, but... You don't know what was like. Whose master cylinder is that? Well, it's cast iron. Has a steel. Well, is it GM? Is it Star? Or is it Ford? Or is it aftermarket? I don't know. Maybe you can tell, but sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
What's the bore size? Oh, gee, I don't know. There's no reference. So
that's what shies me away from any of those cars. Believe me.
Yeah.
That's something I just do not far beyond my pay scale. Cannot sit down with one of those, like you say, buying it from someone else who has built it. No.
Now, I've seen that because some of the cars I get to work on that are owned by, people I know now, bought them from somebody else, and now they're reviving them. And like that wiring I went through on the Mustang recently, I was like, all right, I know that the owner of this car didn't do this, and the last guy, I want to go find him and strangle him with this wire I'm taking out and this electrical tape because he's a moron. Anybody who would do this is like, a walking fire, just waiting at night. And you see what people do, and man, is it scary. It really is scary.
Yeah. I believe it. I totally believe it. And it's something that it's still, people will still do it. And it's just take your time and do it right, or do it in a kind of like a stock way. So maybe if by slim chance you can open up a regular stock shop manual and kind of follow along with the way the engineers got paid a lot of money to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the greatest tips I got from some of the guys I follow, and Joe D always preached this as well. If you're going to run wiring for another component you're putting in a car, whether it's a radio or a radio detector or anything that you're running, the best way to do it is you follow a stock harness. Attach those wires to a stock harness, because it's going to take the route that's, instead of just stringing it across the engine bay like we've seen or under the dash, follow along with another path that's been plotted out. It'll be a lot easier to diagnose down the road.
Recently I was watching Jay Leno's Garage, and he was talking about an older Italian vehicle. I can't remember what it was, but I do remember that they restored the car, and every wire in the car was yellow. Every wire.
Yeah.
And he said that's the way the factory ran it.
I just went through that with our friend Gerard in Trucker Gerard in PA, he bought a Harley Davidson, and like all the wires in this harness were the same color. And I remember when I worked on our flatbed at the shop, there's a bulkhead connector that you pull the nose forward, and there's this bulkhead connector that has probably 30 wires. They're all violet. I remember I put a post up years ago. It said, just the manual said probe the violet wire. I'm like, this 30. But what they did, some places did that to save money, so they used all the same color wire, but you have to look at the numbering of the pins on that, on the plastic. Oh, yeah, talk about,
torture.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, my gosh.
Pain in the neck.
But this is the MotorMouth Radio Mother's Day Extravaganza. Can I tell you the story of one of the most embarrassing stories that my mom has ever experienced?
Sure.
Like anytime we would talk about this, she'd put her head down and go, I should have never done it. It was one of those stories. And one day we went to go watch, she was married a second time to a singer. Mm-hmm. And we went to go watch him sing. And we were all of my friends, there were like 4 of us, we were all 16 years old. And we went to this bar, and of course we drank.
Wow.
We all drank. So it was my mom and a bunch of 16-year-old drunken teenagers in the Cadillac. And we're driving down Avenue T in Brooklyn, New York, right between West 7th and West 8th Streets. There's a hump. They call it the hill because the road had to go over the subway tracks that were in a ditch. And of course, we hit this hill. The Coupe de Ville goes about, I would say, about 1.5 feet in the air because we hit it at like 50.
Wow.
The car comes down, boom, 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 and all the dirt from the wheel wells come flying out of this thing. She goes skating through an intersection. We're all cheering. Yay! All of my friends to this day, grown men that were in that car, look at my mother favorably and go, she was cool.
Yeah. Before the Dukes of Hazzard were on TV, right?
My mother, on the other hand, at the time, God bless her, at the time, put her head down and go, I should have never done that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, life is a mirror. We look back, and then you just take the story and accept it. It is what it is. We've all done stuff like that.
I know. I just think about, if that would have happened, this happened in 1980. If this would have happened now, we would all have been hauled off.
Oh, yeah, right. Sure.
It would have been awful.
That's something.
The legal bills would have mounted.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to go for our last bit because then we'll have a few seconds to talk, and then we'll end the show. This one was a doozy, Chris. Speaking of your mother, this one was from September 20th of this year, where our good friend Carl Anthony from automoblog.net, he's a recurring guest on the show, and we have him on, and always have a good time with Carl, and like a true professional, like you and I do with guests, when you pay attention, he pays attention to what we do in our lives, and he remembers it, and he brings it.
Very frightening. And
he brings it back and talks about it. And this time he was talking about Mother Switzer, and let's let Carl tell us about it right here, because it's going to be that's what we want to hear, and then we'll be back to wrap the show.
Got it.
Take it away, Carl.
So, interesting story. There's actually a follow-up article to this one coming where it's like, you don't need to change your air filter, just spray it with some Mama Switzers. Oh, you don't even need to worry about it. If you think your battery, just hit the terminals with a little Mama Switzer, brings it.
Mother Switzer's convertible top soap will cure all.
Depending on the condition of that battery tray, the battery may remain in the car or be on the ground, because that's everything. That was one of Joe's favorites. Joe loves Mother Switzers. I just talked to Joe the other day, and he brings that up once in a while.
You spray it on the paper element of the filter, and the paper just disintegrates. It just gets
right. Technically, it cleans it. I mean, technically, all the debris and everything is gone. I mean,
correct.
Technically, it does work. If you don't have wipers, just lean out the window with your left hand and just get a spray bottle, and you're fine.
It'll take a layer of glass off.
Yeah. Mama Switzer spreads naturally, so you don't need much. Just 2 or 3 good sprays, and it'll keep that frost right off the window.
That's what they said. Yeah, that was the rumor. Yeah, I know.
I forgot how funny that was.
Oh yes, always. Like I said, Carl remembers that stuff, and that was God knows where he got that one from, but he.
The backstory behind Mother Switzer's convertible top soap was I could not figure out how to clean a white convertible top on my Buick. I tried everything to clean it. The problem was I never tried everything all at once.
Right.
So I took everything I had and put it in a 5-gallon spackle bucket and filled it with water. And everything meaning like furniture soap and clothes detergent and Comet cleanser and everything I could find, a little shot of turpentine. It was a chemical nightmare in there. And I took a bristle brush, and before the bristles melted, I scrubbed the top on that Buick. I got that top bright white, but I had to re-wax the car because the wax was. I'm surprised they didn't have to repaint the car.
I am too.
But that was that was Carl Anthony and bringing that back, which how I find that hysterical when our guests take some of our craziness and take it and run with it. It's just priceless.
So we are coming to the end of this soiree shortly. We only have a couple of short minutes left. So, now we start clocking time to next year where we will cull those bits and make files and keep track of things and we'll see what'll show up on the plate for next year with Mother's Day. So
exactly, we always look forward to our guests and our callers. Love our callers because they are truly the ones that like us keep this show going.
Exactly.
And are always a joy to talk to, especially our regulars. They're always a lot of fun.
And let's not forget all the other moms, our wives included, the wives of our children who are moms that we appreciate and take for granted all the time, but we try to make it up when we can, or else they have spoons and slippers too.
They sure do. That's for sure.
The tools have gotten better. They know how to
more
use
accurate.
Yeah, and heavier.
They don't miss quite as much.
Exactly.
So. But it is the truth. I'd like to say thank you to all of our moms that are here with us and no longer here with us. They were all great, and we all miss them dearly.
Absolutely.
The ones that aren't here and the ones that are here. Give them a big kiss.
Yep. Got to appreciate them too.
Exactly. Give them a big fat kiss from us.
Got it. All right. So with that, we're gonna have to switch. We're gonna have to switch tracks here. We're gonna have to go from this one to this one. And what do we say at the end of each show, Chris? That's become an institution too. So what do we say to everybody?
Don't follow us home and always kiss your mom.
Yes, and actually, I think Carl has used that line too, which is very, very cool. So that's it. Stay tuned for another mom. Kim Tracy here doing Thunder Road, Best of Springsteen and the band and all. So we're going to hear another rousing 2 hours of radio content. And we'll be back next week with more of this fun. For Chris, this is Ray, 90.3 WHPC. See you next week.
See you, bye.
Bye. This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide Warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More
information is available by calling 516-593-0920 or visiting online at celebritychasecollision.com.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by the Enza Brandy Law Firm, a full-service law firm that works with litigation, personal injury, real estate, and trusts and estates. The Enza Brandy Law Firm is located at 33 Walt Whitman Road, Suite 203 in Huntington. If you are looking to purchase your first home or seek compensation for injuries, you may get more information about the Enza Brandy Law Firm by calling 631-757-7471 or online at EnzaBrandyLaw.com. That's ENZABRANDI law.com.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by the Center for Workforce Development at Nassau Community College, where you can prepare to earn a pharmacy technician certification. You can learn the basics of pharmacology, drug compounding, classifications, and interactions, and the skills needed to assist the pharmacist. This course will be conducted through Zoom from June 21st through August 23rd, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings. There is also an online learning management system component where you will have access to recorded webinars,